Hey, old Slicker, how is everybody doing today? Man, that temperature is dropping outside, getting a little cool. So I found myself down the shed, gonna make some of my homemade stew. Let me turn this thing around and show what I'm doing. Well, I actually hadn't planned to make a video, but man, this got to looking so good, I thought I really needed to share it. What I've already done is got me a big pot, and I've already got a bunch of carrots cooked, cut up real small in there already. And I've got these Fort Hook lima beans. There's a whole pack in there, and there's a lot more in there than you may want or not, but my little bag of sugar loves those lima beans, so I put extras in there. Then I'm taking these little potatoes like this, not peeling them completely, but peeling them most of the way, and I've already put a few in there. And then I cut them in half and then quarter them, so I get those little small pieces. Now I'm gonna get these in here, and this is what I call my hard items. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get these in and put them on a stove and get them cooking and get them. All right, at this point I got my carrots, my butter beans, and my potatoes, what I call my hard items. I got them in a little bit of water and some salt, some pepper, and I'm letting them just boil a little bit to start to soften up. And now what I'm gonna go ahead and add is just a packet of beef stew mix. Doesn't matter what it is, just something like that, just gonna add a little bit of flavor. All right, so let's go ahead and add this beef stew mix. I'll do that one hand. Okay, let's just get it in there. All right, we got all the hard vegetables in there at this point. And got the water up on top of them, got the beef stew mix in there. I'm sorry, yeah, beef stew mix in there. And I'm going to let this slowly come up till it kind of just gets to a boil and soften some of these up. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing in the meantime, over in a separate skillet, is I'm going to go ahead and cut this onion, this bell pepper up really fine, and I'm going to saute that jank and about a quarter of a stick of butter. Okay. All right, got a little start on cutting up the bell pepper and the onion. I'm going to cut these up finer, but in the meantime, I went ahead and I stopped for a second, and I'm going ahead and starting that butter going there. We're going to get these chopped up, put them in some butter, and then we're going to just set them aside for a while. We got them veggies coming up to a broil, and we got this cooking up here, sauteing that. Now you could go ahead and put those straight in there if you'd like. I just like to saute them a little bit of this butter because you know what it does to them onions, man. When them onions get sauteed a little bit, well, they get that little sweetness to them. I like to transfer that sweetness into that bell pepper. Okay, and I'm not going to cook it all the way down like if I was going to put it on a sandwich or something. I'm gonna cook them about halfway down, just to where these start getting sweet. So when I get through that, then I'm gonna drop them in there, but not right away, All right, I got me a little Piggly Wiggly meat. Shout out to the pig. And I got a little over a pound of just some cubed stew meat. It's already prepared, but I'm gonna cut these up small cubes. And then I'm gonna, once I get through, look, we're cooking over there, Slick. Once we finish sauteing that, I'm gonna throw these in there and gonna braise these up a little bit. All right, now here's the reason I don't just dump this in there is, see down at the Piggly Wiggly, got them old butchers, they cut it like this. And got them young butchers, see all these big old giant pieces? These are all right in the bottom in the middle. Cut these big pieces and then pack them little ones around it. So you throw, man, you don't want a big old giant piece of meat like that in your soup. So even if you're not going to braise these, at least take them out and make sure they're small enough and cut them up. All right, now that I got these peppers and onions the way I like them, I just go ahead and clean out the meat tray. And I went ahead and set them in this, and now I'm getting ready to move these. And see, I cut those up nice and small. I'm gonna go ahead and Put them in the same pan that these just cooked in. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. We'll set them aside for a second. Okay, let's be honest. Everything I'm doing here separately, you can do it all at the same time. You can take everything that I'm putting in this pot and put it all in. You know, you can just, everything. Cut your onions up, throw them in there, throw your potatoes in there, and just cook it real slow. Okay, everything's gonna kind of mesh together and it's gonna be delicious if you do that. But just kind of like what I like to do, and the way I'm doing it this way, is I cook those hard vegetables kind of in a shallower water, if that's the right word, and I've already put that stew mix in there, so it's kind of concentrated. So it's really going to put a good flavor in those potatoes and all that. Then, like I say, I like my onions and my peppers to be, like I say, a little sauteed. I think I discussed that a little bit. Then I'm going to braise my meat, which, you know, hey, that's just a better thing to do instead of just throwing them in there. It'll hold that flavor better. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you. You got to wait to the end of the video. I've got to taste it and see how it tastes. And then I like to thicken my soup up, and I'm going to do it one of two ways, depending on how it looks and just how it tastes to me. So we'll be talking about that in just a second. All right. Ooh, got that pot boiling, son. All right, that's starting to boil. I'm gonna drop that back down to a simmer. It was on like 7.5, now I got it on 2.8. And now, be raising that meat. Look at this. I'm not using a lot of other spices. Salt, pepper. Okay, like I said, I just finished braising that meat. I turned the oven off and I went ahead and dumped the onions and the bell peppers back on top of this. Gonna let them simmer. Gonna hold that juice in there, and I'm gonna wait till later. Then I'm gonna dump these in there and then add water or whatever I need to get it back up. But don't pour that, I'm gonna pour that juice in there. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Okay, let's see how these hard vegetables are softened up. I just pulled a piece of potato out, which that's gonna be the one that's gonna be the hardest. I'm gonna squeeze it when I hit that. All right, it smashed down pretty good. That's good. So I can get a carrot. All right, the hardest vegetable is the carrot. I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna take a bite of that. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, now. What we're going to do now is we'll go ahead and I'm going to dump that in this. Stir that up. Yum, yum, yum. Now, like I say, by doing it this way, the vegetables, the meat, the onions, the different things, each thing will maintain their own flavors. If you cooked all this at one time, say for 6 hours or 4 hours, just dumped it all in there, everything would taste the same. But you're going to get all the different flavors of everything in here as you eat. All right, so now I'm going to let that boil. Now I'm going to raise the water up about that much and let this boil a little bit. Then I'm going to see how thick it is, and then I'm going to decide which thickener I'm going to put in. Yeah, as you saw, I added that extra water in there. I did that for a couple of reasons. One reason is that you know, I like to thin it back out, and you know, so it'll go further. Hey, like I say, if you got a neighbor coming, hey, add another cup of water to your soup or to your stew, and yeah, you got a little bit of water. Hey, but the main reason is because it is so good right now that if I served it without kind of thinning out a little bit, people around here, they start doing stuff like slapping their mamas and stuff, and because it's just so good, and I just don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. All right, man. Hey, now I'm at the point where I need to decide how I want to thicken my stew. Okay, now we're getting ready to thicken this up. Like I say, we have a choice here. Okra, man, it's great. Next thing is if you're gonna put a little beef gravy or whatever, hey, that's cool too. But I use this. No, that's not cocaine. That is cornstarch. Okay, the recipe for this is 1-to-1. So I'll put a tablespoon of that and a tablespoon of water and mix it up. If you got more to thicken, just make more. Okay, the more your stew looks like soup, or anything you're cooking looks too thin, you just pour a little bit of cornstarch in there. Like I say, 1 to 1. And let me tell you what, don't rush it. It takes a while to thicken it up. It's like a roux. So we're gonna sit there and let that cook there. We'll stir that up, and I'm gonna show you the difference. Man, okay, that's been cooking for a little while, just real slow. Now see how thick that is? Ooh, that's so nice. Let me dip down there and show you what you got. Ooh, man. Potatoes are nice and green. Nice, real nice. All right, man, let me tell you what, man, it's about 1,000,000 ways to cook a stew, and that's one right there. Subscribe and like this video, and let me tell you what, hey, God loves you, and so does old Slick. But you know, sometimes, hey, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, so y'all be particular. All right.